Welcome back. You are listening to Whissel Weekends here on AM 1170. The Answer. My name is Kyle Whissel, your host with Whissel Realty. Joined as always by Mr. Jason Hall with Team Home Loans. And before the break, we were talking with Peter Ruttman, enrolled agent, real smart guy when it comes to handling taxes. If you guys need to get connected with Peter, you need some tax advice, love to make that happen. 619-663-SELL, 619-663-7355. And before the break, we were talking a little bit about the Trump effect and what has happened. I mean, since this guy's taken office, I know, Jason, when you showed up here in studio today, the first thing you started talking about is rates when it comes to mortgage rates. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, so rates this Wednesday, the Fed always announces what they're going to do with short-term rates. And what I really want to try to explain quickly is short-term rates are really what the Fed actually lends the bank's overnight rate. So they have increased it 0.25%. That was expected. Everybody kind of had already figured that in. Now, all my clients think that mortgage rates went up 0.25%. Many times I've seen them raise rates 0.25% and mortgage rates actually go down. It's not what they do. It's what people don't expect them to do that causes rates to move up or down. So, for example, this past Wednesday, Fed raised rates 0.25%, but they came out and everybody had expected, based on their previous minutes of the meetings released, that they would probably raise maybe one more time this year, maybe like a September, October timeframe. Well, they've now come out with their recent statement that was released on Wednesday, June 13th, and they said, hey, now that we're going to raise 0.25%, we think we're going to have to raise a few more times this year. We know we told you once before, but now we think twice because the market is doing so well, the economy and so many facets. And next year we thought maybe once or twice. Now we're thinking 3, maybe more. And so when that happened, we actually saw the bonds raise. That's the Treasury bonds that the government actually lends money out actually rose to 3%. And it's been a few times with this last month where it's went over 3. It's dropped back down. We'll see how this holds. But 3 is a scary number for us in the mortgage market because when it goes over 3 and holds, that probably means we're going to see mortgage rates start to hit 5 and maybe even hold over 5%, which we haven't seen it hold like that in probably 10 plus years, right? It's been a while. And although 5% seems low to me historically, 6.5% used to be the floor for me in the 90s. Now you tell somebody the rate's 5%, and I literally have clients yelling, screaming at me, thinking I'm trying to rob their money because we've all gotten used to the cheap money. And that's what I think our economy's got stuck to. We've gotten used to these low rates, banks borrowing money at record lows, 0%. Now it's, even like 1.5%. I mean, it's still really low rates. And people like you, Kyle, know what to do with money when you're giving it to them at a low rate, right? And that is invest in real estate and leverage. And people don't really understand leverage, but I know you've explained before, if you buy a $500,000 house and you put 3% down, that's $15,000, and the home goes up 10% a year. Well, it goes up 50 grand, let's say, each year, but you only put 15 grand. So when you put 15 grand down and it's going up $50,000 a year, you're getting, 400% return on dollar over dollar, right? Like, you're like, Jason, why don't more of our friends and clients do this? It's simply they don't understand and they don't prepare. They always want to lease the nicest car. They want to rent the nicest home in La Jolla or some condo that impress their, friends. And yet they never get ahead and sacrifice by saving as little as 3% and actually buying property and then either buying up if they do well and then selling their current home or renting. And those are some of the things that, we're going to see as these rates increase. How's that going to impact prices? Because I know coming back from my mortgage mastermind, a lot of people actually think 2020 is going to be a scary year because we've done all this stimulus that the Trump tax plan did, that it's really got the economy firing on all cylinders. I mean, we're growing faster than we've grown in years. And the liberals hate to hear that because they don't want to give Trump any credit. And I'm sure part of it's him, part of it's everything. But the liberals believe it's what Obama did, 20 years ago when he was a kid or something. But we're going to possibly see a slowdown somewhere in that 2020, 2021 years, what they're currently projecting. And so I was asking during the break, hey, if I owned a home, and I was thinking about possibly selling, should I wait till the market goes down or should I go when everybody can afford to buy more than they've ever bought? And you were saying?
The most important thing, regardless of where rates are, where prices are, is always keep in mind you're buying a home for you and or your family to live in. And I feel too often like when things like right now happen where rates jump up a little bit, people decide, nope, not going to buy anymore. And it's like, really? You're not going to buy because the rates went up? Like, you got to pay for a home for you and your family to live in. And you have a choice. Do you buy the home or do you rent it? And either way, you're paying money. So you might as well put the money into something that's going to give you something back out of it other than just a place to live. Because you got to pay for a place to live either way. Why not put the money in to something that's actually going to provide you tax benefits, regardless if prices go up or down? You're going to get those tax benefits. And you're going to get appreciation over the long haul. If you look at values in San Diego, they have gone
better
up
today than any time in history.
5 to 6% a year, right? And a lot of people tell us, they're like, well, I wish I would have bought last year. I wish I would have bought 5 years ago. There's a saying that I heard recently that I really like, and it's the best time to plant a tree was yesterday. The next best time to plant it is today. And so we can look in hindsight and go, I wish I would have done it a year ago or, 10 years ago, whatever. But there's not a better time than now. I mean, you can keep waiting and you can project where rates are going to go and you can project where prices are going to go and project all this stuff, but you can't control anything that's going to happen. All you can control is where things are at today and where things have been in the past, and you can forecast based on that information. And you got to pay to live somewhere. Why pay somebody else's mortgage when you can pay your own?
Well, that's exactly it, because rents do go up. And why do rents go up? Because of inflation. Why do rates go up? Because right now they're trying to protect us from inflation. That's why they're raising rates. They know the market's doing well, which means everything's going to inflate. So if you don't buy a house, guess what's going to happen to your rent? Your rent's going to go up. I promise you. I know all the guys out there who own properties and gals. They're going up, you guys. If you just wait, you're going to end up worse and worse and worse and eventually be pushed out of San Diego altogether. Where if you buy now, if you do decide to leave San Diego, you can either keep your property as a rental or you can cash out, sell it with a great agent like Kyle Whissel and his team, and you can make the ton of money. Because I'm also looking right now is a great time to sell if you're thinking about downsizing, if you're thinking about maybe purchasing some rental property and downsizing now your big primary home because the kids, we're at graduation time, right? Father's Day, is tomorrow. Literally, this is a great, great time to look at selling because your home's probably never, ever, ever been worth more than right now. And when I look at that, my buddies were teasing me at lunch. They're like, Jason, you're always talking about selling. I said, I'm always buying. I'm always selling. Always. Because when the time's right, you got to pull the trigger. And that's what I've learned, right? But I also have some great real estate people like yourself, Kyle, that just hold everything. Just hold, and they can do really, really well, right? So that's not a bad strategy. But the guy that keeps, renting the house
every 2 years, baby,
and leasing the car, right? I just don't get it.
Yeah.
It's just so short-term sighted, right?
Yeah.
They're not thinking long-term. And 2 to 5 years isn't long-term, right? To me, that's really short-term. But they don't even think they can't see past tomorrow, Sunday on Father's Day, let alone what happens. And they wonder a year later, God, I should have bought. Really. Kyle and Jason told you a year ago, the year before that, the year before that, year before that. You and I have clients and friends that we can exactly know who they are. They keep waiting, and they keep saying, well, you're just lucky, Kyle. Jason, you're just lucky. I go, really? Wow. I know my siblings, say that to me. I know you've got family and friends tell you the same thing. We just make a decision to actually make action, and that's the biggest difference. Make a decision to make action. Find the experts in the area that are going to help you, and make it happen. That's the best advice I got.
I love it. If you want to get connected with Jason, get some advice on your mortgage, I'd love to make that connection for you. Give me a call. Shoot me a text, 619-663-SELL, 619-663-7355. My degree is in economics. I studied at UCSD. Charts and graphs are something that are very, very familiar to me. But what's very interesting is sometimes you can't just rely on charts and graphs to figure out what's happening in a market. There is something called emotion that comes into play. These things that happen with the market are not purely based off statistics. they are based a lot of times off emotion, which is something that's very common when people think about where they're going to live. And one of the things that's always been really interesting, because I've studied over, the last 50 years, basically since Jason was in high school, I've studied that what's very interesting is the less affordable homes get, then the more people want them because of the scarcity mindset, which is an emotional thing.
They figure if they don't buy now, they're not going to be able to buy. So that's what you're saying.
So in theory, like when rates tick up like they did this past week, in theory, people should pull back. But what tends to happen is that people actually run and get in line.
Well, especially when you hear about the Fed wanting to raise 4 or 5 more times in the next 12 months.
Yes.
Right? Like that concerns that, mortgage rates will probably be at least 0.5% higher, if they raise 1.25 on the short-term rate.
Yeah, so that's where that scarcity mindset comes into play. So for me personally, I'm buying 4 more properties right now actively. Today, I'm in escrow on 4 properties.
4 more.
So I personally believe that the market still has plenty of room to grow. I don't think it's the market's about to crash or tank, and I don't think you're going to, probably in our lifetime, I don't think you'll ever see a crash like we had in 2007 and 8, because I remember getting loans where they put a mirror under my nose, I fogged it, and they were like, here's $500,000. That's not going to happen again. So even when a market does make a correction, it's going to be more of a correction, not a tank.
A normal correction.
Normal market corrections 10 to 20%. Right? That's to be expected. That's okay. But as long as you're in this for the long haul, you buy the home that's right for you and your family, and it fits in your budget, you're going to be just fine in the long haul. So if you're thinking about making the move, love to connect with you. We're happy to give you a free appraisal on your home. Call us, text us, 619-663-SELL, 619-663-7355. We're going to head to break. Jason Hall with Synergy One Lending and Team Home Loans and myself, we're going to close it out strong for you here on AM 1170, The Answer.